Hello to all of my dreamers out there. I am the channeling goddess. If you are new to the channel, hi, hello. If you are returning back, welcome back. So today we are going to be doing another dream interpretation video. Now before we get started, there are a couple of disclaimers as always. Disclaimer number one, these are my interpretations of my own dreams. So if you hear the messages that I am getting from spirit in regards to these dreams and you have a completely different interpretation, then you are using this video for the intended purpose, okay? Disclaimer number two, if you are looking for something that is confirmation or you want to set the intention that this video gives you some type of confirmation that this is where you're meant to be, there are a couple of things that I would suggest. First one is to make sure that you set intentions, and sometimes I do this by asking spirit to hear certain things, see certain things, whether it be animals, colors, numbers, whatever the case may be. Or you can add this together. You can stand outside in the grass, or you can take 3 mindful deep breaths, checking in with the breath and actually getting more in tune with spirit. So normally what I do is I inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 3, and exhale for 5 to 6 seconds. This just helps you get more in sync with the messages that spirit is trying to give you, okay? So today is a pretty long one, so I would definitely say to get your coffee, your tea, your Coca-Cola, whatever it is that floats your boat, and we will go ahead and get started. I will warn you, this one is all over the place. There may be some things that I might omit out of this dream, but I'll give you as much as I can, okay? So it says, in my dream, I'm at this place getting food, and I said to the person in the food truck that I've never had tacos before. The guy looks at me shocked, and I realize what I said. I tell him I meant to say burrito, and we both start laughing. He tells me that he was going to be hurt if I said that I never had tacos with all of the tacos I've gotten from his particular taco truck. He teases me, saying that he will blackball me of sorts from other taco trucks. In my mind, I remember I actually meant to say I never had a Mexican donut, and I eventually tell them that, and he tells me neither has he. I declare to myself that tomorrow I will get up early and go look for some. He asks if he can join me. I freeze up because he's a random stranger and I don't like the idea of that. Instead of answering, I try to walk myself out of actually saying I will go. Also, I talk to him while he wraps his hand, wraps this bread looking thing around his handle. So think of like a spatula, and he wraps this bread looking thing around it. Could have been paper towel. I just saw 303. And it says, at some point I look up, I look up to find a warranty on this basket. So think like a deep fryer, the baskets that go in the deep fryer, online to see if I can replace the one that I had. I found others. And when I finally found mine, they no longer sold the one that I had. I then end up sitting on the floor eating a flat, soggy donut, and I watch this guru of sorts take this man on a quest for Mexican donuts. My mom comes in the room and tells me that my brother is here and that she thought I would want to see him. I rush and finish up my food. As I walk out, I tell her about how this is a lucky day. I name all the things that's happened to me as I skip outside. I walk along the rocky path and my mom screams at me about staying on the side of the road and tells me not to play with her. I just toss my hands up and she says she thought those boys in that truck would hex me, and she knows I couldn't hex anything. There are no other stars for me. I am hurt because I don't think I can hex them, and I don't want to be a fraud. I sit down at the table with my sister and I try to enjoy our time together. However, I can't wipe a part of me and excuse myself to go to the bathroom to find some new underwear. I realize the only way to prove what I can do is by hexing her, but I also wonder if I can do it. I finally find underwear and make it outside, and my mom is standing at the edge of the building talking to someone. When she sees me, she comes over and tries to talk to me, and I move away from her. We get into a screaming match where we both tell each other to shut the F up. It started because she told the person that she was afraid of her mother. I said that doesn't sound familiar to me. She tries to deny it, but I won't let her. I end up on a staircase while she is on the ground yelling about how she treated me even though I'm almost 40 years old. My sister, or someone who could be my sister, because she's not really my sister, my could-be sister stops me before I can get my age out. She then says that this is why a certain gentleman said that my mom shouldn't have left until she could have convinced me. Me and my mom are both shocked, and I turn to the sister or pretend sister to explain. Apparently, the guy was worried about my mom not convincing me and I would go astray. She then tells us that that I turned out to be smart, and I could kiss like an angel, and they thought it would be okay. My actual sister sits next to me and says, "Ooh, I've been waiting to hear this." Apparently, my pretend sister and I dated, so I was shocked to hear her say how I kissed, okay? A lot of weird stuff going on in this dream. So let's go back to the beginning. So it says, in my dream, I'm at this place getting food. And I said that I never had tacos, but in truth, it wasn't that I was trying to say I never had tacos. I was trying to really say I've never had a Mexican donut, but I still end up saying something else, that I never had a Mexican burrito. I've never had a burrito, sorry. And the guy behind the truck was like, he said he was going to be hurt if I had told him that I have never had a taco, especially because I come to his truck all the time to get tacos. To me, this is spirit saying that I need to open my eyes to what's already around me, open my eyes to the things that I've already done, because even for me to open my mouth and say I've never had tacos, I have. So like example that I would give for this is like saying that none of my dreams have ever come true. Like I've always wanted certain things to happen and none of it has come true, right? When the truth is I'm living in answered prayers. I just don't realize it, right? I haven't stopped to look at what's actually happening around me, because I am so focused on like, I wanted it to come in this color, in this shape, in this person, and this, all this kind of stuff, right? And spirit is saying to open my eyes to see what is already around me, to see the gifts that I've been given, to see how spirit has looked out for me, how currently in this particular time I am living in answered prayers. So it's not a case of my prayers are not being answered or my wishes are not being answered. Sometimes you're just coming in a different form, or sometimes things have to be removed from your life in order for you to get, those wishes the way you wanted them. Okay. When I finally tell him that is really the Mexican donut that I've never had, he asks, I tell him I'm going to get up the next day and I'm going to go early and look for some. And he asked if he could go with me. And I think spirit is telling me, because when he asked me that, I was completely put off by it, because yes, I've been seeing him, at the taco truck, right? It's his taco truck. So I've been going there, but something about like just randomly asking me if he could go with me didn't feel right. And it was like spirit was essentially telling me that there are going to be situations like this where people are not really going to, I don't want to say weasel that way in because that sounds weird, but there will be times where people will be friendly to me and they will be nice to me, but only so that they can get something else from me, and to trust my intuition, because if my intuition is saying no, if I feel like, hey, I don't really want to do this, to say no, right? Even if part of me saying no is that I completely change the subject and we don't talk about it anymore, which is what happened in this particular situation, okay? I was watching him. He wrapped something around a handle. I was looking for a warranty on a basket online to replace what I had. When I found mine, they no longer sold it. So what I want, they no longer sold it. To me, if we're going in line with like fulfilled prayers and living in answered prayers, sometimes when we get what it is that we want from spirit, we realize we don't want it anymore. And I think that spirit is saying that for me, and maybe even for some of us in here, because sometimes, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but sometimes people make you feel bad for like you've prayed for something and you get it, and then you realize, this is not quite what I want, right? And for me to get that basket, like go all the way to the process, get all the way to the end, and then they didn't even have what it is I want. I feel like this is more around me realizing that there are certain things that I no longer want anymore. And because even when they didn't have it, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't sad. I just understood that they didn't have it. Okay. Then it says I would end up sitting on the floor eating a soggy donut. And I watched this guru of sorts take this man on a quest for Mexican donuts. I think the fact that I was sitting there eating, so we started out with me finally getting to the root of it, where it wasn't that I never had a taco before. It was never that I didn't have a burrito. It was technically that I didn't have a Mexican donut, right? But I end up sitting on the floor eating a soggy donut, watching someone else go on a quest, like a guru of sorts, takes this man on a quest to find Mexican donuts. And I think that this is also Spirit saying, don't be afraid to go on quest. Don't be so confined to you're used to things being a certain way and you don't really want to step outside of your comfort zone. I think part of to me, this is where your intuition really comes in. My intuition really comes into play, is that if you feel called to go on a certain quest, if there's something that you want to do, because even though I was trying to convince the man that I didn't want to go, it still didn't mean that I couldn't go on a quest, right? It just means I wasn't going to take him with me, right? So I think Spirit is saying, don't let others' perception or their desire to do something with you stop you from doing what it is that you want to do, even if you don't want them to go, right? Because I was dead set on getting up early in the morning and going to look for one, but then I stopped myself because this man wanted to go with me, and because I had to quote unquote lie to him and say, hey, I'm not going. Now I didn't go, right? And Spirit is saying, sometimes we stop ourselves and we watch other people live our lives. The second message that I'm also getting is that if Spirit, and I know this is true for me, Spirit has given me a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I want to do, a lot of things that I want to try, but it is going to be up to me to actually do it, right? I have to make that step. I have to make that change. I have to decide, because if Spirit is giving it to me, it's being given to me for a reason. Right. And even if it's something that I say, well, someone else has done this, like think of making a table, right? There are so many other woodworkers out there that are making tables, but Spirit gave me a specific design, right? And Spirit gave it to me because Spirit wants me to do it. And I feel like Spirit is saying, don't watch other people live the life that you could be living. Okay. Then my mom comes in the room and tells me that my brother's here and she thought I want to see him. I rush to finish my food. And I walk out and tell her how I had a lucky day. And I tell her all about all the things that happened. To me, Spirit is saying, find the luck in everything. There's always a bright side to things. There are so many beautiful, lucky things that are happening for us in our life. And sometimes we forget to celebrate those things. And I think Spirit is reminding me to remember to celebrate those. Okay. I start walking along a rocky path. My mom screams at me, telling me to stay on the side of the road. And I toss my hands up, and she says she thought those boys in the truck will hex me. To me, okay, so this one is two-part, because it goes on to say that I'm hurt by my mother's words. I'm hurt that she said that I can't hex anything, right? And even though there's a part of me that don't think I can, I still want to believe that I can, but it also, like, I'm warring with the fact that I don't want to be a fraud in this situation, right? To me, this is Spirit saying that sometimes there are certain things we know about ourselves, even if we can't explain it, right? Sometimes we feel a calling within ourselves, even if we don't know how to reach that calling, even if we don't know specifically how to get there. We know that there is a calling, right? And in this particular dream, it was used as a hex, right? I knew it was something that I wanted to do. But I was hurt because of her, I guess, disbelief in me, which caused my own belief in myself to get worse, right? And Spirit is telling me that I don't need to, and it's kind of going hand in hand with the guy with the Mexican donut, right? Spirit is basically telling me to not let others' opinion of what they think I can do, or their opinion of my journey stop me from going along this journey, stop me from doing the things that I feel deep within my soul that I'm called to do. Okay. Then it says, where am I? Yep. I sit with, I guess you can say, my play sister, and I really try to enjoy my time with her. I ended up going to the bathroom, and I realized that the only way to prove that I can hex anybody is by hexing her. I want to say I'm talking about my mother. I can't remember. But I also wonder, like, even there's a doubt there. I know the only way I can prove I can do it, because there's something in me that knows that I can do it, which is why I'm having the thought the only way that I can prove I can do it is by doing it to her. But even in that, there's doubt. And I just saw 555. So 1555. But even in that, there's doubt, right? Let's see. Okay, when I come out of the building, my mom is standing there at the edge of the building. She's talking to someone. When she sees me, she comes over and try to talk to me, but I move away from her. And I think this is because of the sadness. And I just saw 1616. I think it's because of the sadness and her hurting my feelings by saying that I couldn't hex anybody. We get into a screaming match where we tell each other to shut the fuck up. And apparently it started because she told the person that she was afraid of her mom. And I said, that doesn't sound familiar to me. Something about, to me, this is spirit saying, let people tell their own story. Just because it doesn't sound familiar to you, it doesn't mean that it wasn't that person's reality. Because sometimes when we're listening to stories, we only hear, or we're only privy to what people give us. And if you've only ever been privy to giving me one side of the story and not the other side, then how can I assume or judge your actual true story? Because the only person who really knows the true story is you and that other person who's been in it. Okay. I end up on the staircase while she's on the ground, and we're yelling about how she treated me, even though I'm almost 40. My pretend sister stops me before I can get the age out, right? She then says this is why a certain person said my mom shouldn't have left until she could have convinced me. To me, this is spirit is saying that there are people who even now, who are trying to control my trajectory. They're trying to control how I move forward. And because they can't control it, they're falling back to old patterns, like somebody from the past. They're saying I should have never left this particular place because, you know, my mom couldn't convince me to do this or couldn't convince me to do that. And I think a lot of times we have people who are around us who are supposed to be friends, who are supposed to be family, who's supposed to be, you know, looking out for us, but they don't really cheer us on. They don't really have our back. They're essentially letting us fall. And they don't really care, right? If they can't get something from you, if they can't control you, then it's a problem. And this was something that I was not aware of, right? So you can tell, like in the book, I actually write that I was shocked to hear this because I didn't know like there was even a conversation like this happening. I feel like spirit is saying that some truths are going to be revealed to me very soon. And this is also confirmation of something else that I heard recently. But spirit is letting me know that there are going to be some truths that are going to be revealed to me. I will be able to see like quote unquote snakes in the grass. And I think this is, you know, this is important for others of us who feel like there's something like on the edge that we're not quite privy to right now, but it will be revealed to us soon. And I really feel like spirit is saying that I might be surprised by those who are who I consider friends, who I consider family, who I consider loved ones. I am going to be surprised by how they really feel about me, my trajectory or my path or whatever the case may be, or what it is that I'm doing. And spirit is, it's almost like spirit trying to warn me now so that I'm not too shocked about what's actually coming. And I believe this is being revealed to me now because I've been asking spirit to allow me to not just see with my physical eyes, but with my spiritual eyes, with the eyes of my soul, which most people call the third eye. And I think it's because of that I'm now in a place where I need those things to be revealed to me. I need to be able to see the truth for what it is. And it's because I'm sincere in my asking of Spirit to like show me and give me signs. Okay, so we're gonna shuffle these cards. Wow, look at this. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. Yeah, some of these, I feel like when these things are going to be revealed to me, while I will be hurt, I think it will be a change in fortune, right? But there will be some forgiveness that's needed on my part, right? And I think a lot of times when we hear the word forgiveness, we think, I have to be okay with the way you treated me. And I'm not getting that. I feel like Spirit is just saying that learn to forgive the people in your life who have not always had your best interests at heart, because we don't know what another person is going through. But a lot of times, and I think we say this a lot, but we don't really understand what this means. A lot of times you hear people say, don't forgive them for them, forgive them for you. But it's so true, because sometimes what holds us in place or holds us back is because we haven't forgiven ourselves for being fooled by these people. We haven't forgiven ourselves from for letting them into our lives. And you know, especially if it's the type of situation where you've let somebody in time and time again, and they keep messing up. But something about this is about a secret that I am not aware of, about a foe that I am not aware of, or a situation that I'm not aware of. And I feel like Spirit is saying, we're going to reveal this to you, but you have to learn forgiveness, not for them, right? Understand, don't sit in it too long, like, you know, reminiscing on like, oh my God, had I known, I would have done blah, blah, blah. Or had I seen this, I would have done da, 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 right? Spirit is saying it's being revealed to you now because you're ready to accept it. Don't get stuck in the pain. Don't get stuck in the hurt of what's about to be revealed. Understand that it's being revealed now because this is a time for it to be revealed. Okay, let's get a couple of cards. Spirit, can you get us a couple of cards, please, for this dream interpretation? It's way too many. I just saw getting back to integrity. I don't know if it'll come out again, but that's what I just saw. Okay, we have, it says net caster preparations come up. Where is this? Preparations come to fruition. And this card fell on the floor, which is the one I saw earlier. It says lost compass, getting back to integrity. Bottom deck energy is fool's embrace, transmuting pain. Yep. Okay. All right. So that's definitely confirmation on what we've been talking about. I am going to read these from the book, just to see if we can get some additional messages from what's coming through. But I feel like I said, the things that are being revealed to me right now, they're being revealed for a reason. Also because I asked. So it says preparations come to fruition. I think it's being revealed to me now because I asked, right? I asked for Spirit to allow me to see with not just my physical eyes, but with the eyes of my soul. Okay. So I'm going to read this one from the book. So this is card number 42. It says netcaster. Preparations come to fruition, a surprise, a result beyond expectations. It says the netcaster arrives to tell you to stop praying for the fish. They have arrived, and it's time that you cast your net, lest they swim away. Everything that you long for is within reach, but it has been so long since your prayers were answered that you have forgotten how to receive what is being offered to you. Yeah, what did I talk about? My prayers, the things that I've been asking for. And what did I say at the beginning? Spirit is saying, pay attention to what's right in front of you, right? The answers that you've been asking for, they're right in front of your face. And that's what Spirit is saying to me. It says, put down the prayer beads and open your arms and your heart to rewards beyond measure. Cast your net. Take the next step that you have been planning for so long. Remember that the fish wait for no one, so time is of the essence. Heaven and earth are in perfect alignment for your victory. The stars are positioned for success. The only one who can spoil the perfection of the moment is you. If you ask, do I really deserve this? You will sabotage the magic and shatter the crystalline flawlessness of the now. The netcaster can also arrive to bring you bad news, to tell you that you have been snared in someone's trap and must wiggle free. Right now, it feels comfortable enough, even as the net begins to tighten around you. Do not wait until it is suffocating you before realizing that you must escape and run for your life. What did I say? The snakes and the people that are around me who are not meant for my highest good, Spirit is going to be revealing them to me, and it's up to me to take the next step. Okay. It says, it is still early enough to exit gracefully. Bide your time until all the conditions are right. Go to your place of stillness or deep quiet and watch for signs that a new opportunity has arrived. Right now, you are patient because you feel that things will go your way. Learn to be patient with the people and situations that are more challenging. Yeah, so to me, that's just confirmation, right? It's just confirmation of what that dream was already talking about. It also makes me feel like that, like I said, I think I said this, that there's something coming in, and now the people around me who are snakes are being revealed to me at this time, because there's so much coming in for me, and there's like new opportunities. Like I said, keep your eyes open for new opportunities, but sometimes we have to let go of the things or the people who've been holding us back, and we didn't even realize they were holding us back. Okay. So then we have lost compass. It says getting back to integrity, finding the way home, trusting intuition. What did I say? Trust your intuition. It's going to be revealed to you. It says when the last compass appears, it is a sign that you need to find your way back home, back to your source and center, relying on your intuition to arrive there. Be wary of the signs telling you to turn here or there, or to avoid this or that person or situation, because the outward indicators are not reliable right now. Be careful not to believe all the advice you are receiving. To me, this is Spirit saying that, like I talked about with a man who like wanted to ride with me, I immediately didn't feel comfortable, and I trusted my intuition. I just thought 26. I trusted my intuition and like I completely avoided the subject, right? Because sometimes what we're looking at with our physical eyes cannot always be trusted. We have to look within with our soul eyes, with our third eye. Okay. It says rely instead on your innate sense of direction and guidance, and use your homing instincts to lead you true. The lost compass has come to show you that you need to find new counselors. You are not getting the mentoring you need for your success. Who is that person you are looking up to as a role model for what it means to be a woman or a man? Trash that idea. It says tear up the picture you carry in your mind. You are meant to be you, not the best copy of your dearest friend. Make this your mantra. Love me or leave me. The lost compass is a blessing in disguise, because you sometimes have to lose your bearings and find yourself afresh to discover a new course. True north never changes, so reset your way to your heart's compass and trust your deepest feelings even when others do not support them. Remember that you are not lost. You simply do not know where you are going right now. Lost is a state of mind. Not knowing where you are going is an opportunity to find a way to a new path. So like to me, it says, trust your deepest feelings even when others don't support you. What did I say? The hexing thing in the dream, even when other people can't see it, even when others don't support what it is that you do, you still have to trust your own instincts. You have to trust where you're being led, what you're being called to do, because not everybody is being called. Not everybody can hear it, right? I think I heard somebody say the other day on YouTube that if only the preachers who were called were in church, there would be a lot more churches. And I think that that's so true, especially with any type of work that you do. It doesn't have to be spiritual or religious based. But I think that understanding the call and letting go of other people's expectations of you, not, making yourself small because of those expectations, but like fully going into what Spirit wants you to do and not worrying about how it makes other people feel, because this is your path. Okay. And then our bottom deck energy was card 22, Fool's Embrace. So it says transmuting pain, allowing life to love you, the experience of both land. Okay. It says the pain of life is sometimes unbearable. When we're in it, we think that pain, that loss, that betrayal will always be woven throughout our continuity of existence. We kept hostages by the way we identify with the pain and what we make it mean. If we let it, it becomes etched into us like a tattoo. No matter where on the spectrum of pain you find yourself now, whether it be mild disappointment or searing loss, it's time to make peace with it. What did I say? That learning to forgive them, like whatever it is that's coming out for me, whatever truth that's about to be revealed, I feel like it will be painful, but Spirit is telling me to learn to transmute the pain, truly forgive them. Like, I don't think we were talking about false positivity here. You can experience it, because if it's lost, it's lost. It hurts like hell, right? Experience it, but don't sit in it. I think that's what Spirit is saying to me right now. It says, befriend it rather than resisting it. Yes, running from it or judging it as bad or unfair or hostile. Can you see the gift that is here? Surrender to the fool's embrace, allowing the truth to envelop you in love and compassion. Yes, I think for me, Spirit is saying that don't focus on this person did me dirty. Focus on the fact. Okay, focus on the fact that now that the truth is being revealed, I can move forward in love and compassion. It says, what if you could learn something amazing from this? What is truly yours will not pass you by. Something better and perfect for you is waiting elsewhere. If you could come to terms with the liberation and freedom inherent in loss, your broken heart might open up to a greater sense of humanity and compassion. As in the narrative of tarot, the fool will be at the beginning of your life's adventure and at the end when you've integrated all the wisdom you've accumulated along the journey. It says, he will never let you down or lie to you. He will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and desperation of life. Both and this and that will always be true. It says, remember, the pearl can't be created without the gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. All is well now and will be well. Remember that today as you feel the fool's embrace. Yeah, so this is just Spirit telling me that there's ways to transmute this pain, right? I don't have to sit in it. I don't have to let my life be defined by this pain. I imagine that for transmuting pain to come here, getting back to integrity, I imagine that whatever is coming, this is Spirit's way of warning me and saying, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine, but it might be painful, right? This may shock you, right? But don't sit in it. And I think this is also confirmation of another reading that I got from another spiritual reader that was talking about things being revealed to me. And it's funny that I chose this. Well, I didn't choose it, but when I was flipping through the book, that this is the book that opened at first, of the dream that opened at first. And when I was reading it, I was like, I am not getting anything. Like, I was reading the dream and I was like, I'm not, because sometimes when I'm reading it, because I read it before, because sometimes my dreams are out there, so I don't want to say the wrong thing on here. So I read it before, and sometimes I can get like impressions of like, okay, this is coming through. So I'll get messages prior to me turning on the camera. But this time I wasn't getting anything. Like, I literally was like afraid that I wasn't going to be able to interpret it because I wasn't getting anything. And I think it was meant to be interpreted in real time so that I wouldn't fight it, so to speak. And I think Spirit is telling me that while yes, this is coming. Also, before I say that, do you notice how blurry this is? I feel like, to me, this is Spirit saying that the veil is going to be lifted. There is going to be so much that's going to be revealed to me. And I don't think it's just about one thing, but I think that maybe amongst the things that are going to be revealed, there may be something that might be a little bit painful for me to hear, or painful for me to accept. And Spirit is saying to learn to transmute the pain. Understand that there is beauty, there is love, and there's compassion in, like, whatever this is being revealed to me now. And I just saw 3333. Okay, so this is all of the messages that I have for the dream interpretation today. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me all the way to the end, and I will see you in our next one. Bye.